Hi guys!
Jesus!
Welcome to Create, Nourish, Move.
Are you joking right now?
No.
Oh, that was so intense. Okay.
Hi guys! Welcome to Create, Nourish, Move.
Switching up the intro for the day.
That's true.
So we're here for our food for thought.
But we're not eating today. We already ate.
We just ate. We were too hungry to wait to film. But we're here to talk about self-care.
Oh yeah. So what's self-care?
So self-care, we all know we have to take care of our bodies. We brush our teeth, we take a shower, do all that regular stuff.
So hygiene?
Hygiene, but
Everyone does that. Almost.
Almost. We want to practice mental hygiene as well, and I think that's a really important kind of self-care, especially in today's effed up world. For pardon my French. But right now, when things are so scary in the world, we need to take care of ourselves, and because then we're more able to take care of others around us and the people that we care about, and show up in the world and make the right decisions so we can help people.
Yeah, so it brings you like oneness and happiness, and like you feel stronger and more energized, more excited. And so basically the concept is taking care of yourself first, like not in a selfish way, but like just you're not be able to help anyone or to do anything productive if you don't take care of yourself first.
Yeah, and it's important to have that reserve to give. So basically, if you pour your tea out for everybody else, the teapot's going to be empty and you won't have anything left to give. So
no tea for you.
No tea for you. But if you keep a reserve, and you can do that just by practicing some simple self-care activities, and it's different for everyone. What works for some people might not work for someone else. But one of my teachers, Buffy Barfoot, said that self-care is a privilege, and it really resonated with me because it's hard to practice self-care when some of your base needs are missing, like if you have trouble. Like people who don't have a safe place to live. If you're worried about your safety, about getting food or
water.
Even I notice when we're in the van and like we're, and I'm not saying I'm not privileged, I definitely am, but when we're thinking about like where to get water and dump our tank and where to park and where to sleep.
Pinto needs to go for a walk. And
all of those things. Self-care goes like on the back burner. It's not as high up on the priority list, but it's important. It should be on the priority list, and not everybody gets that opportunity. So being people of privilege, we should practice self-care, so then we can help. Do it for the people who can't.
You told me that actually that I have to, like I owe the community to take care of myself. That's what you told me, right?
I think it's our responsibility and our duty to be...
Yeah, the less care you give of yourself, on yourself, basically, you're going to be angry and you're going to be mean to the people around you, and you're not going to want to change anything in a positive manner. And I'm talking as experience because I did a long depression a few years ago. And when you have depression, because nothing makes any sense anymore, even yourself, you really don't care of yourself. Even the basic thing, you just like, even in hygiene is less, like the way you talk to your friend is different. You don't want to even like meet them anymore. You basically like decrease, like you go down, and as soon as you feel better, that's what happened when I switched to traveling. Like I took this last chance, and then you start to take a lot of care of yourself. Like you try to think about what you can do as a job, as as an activity, as you take time outside, and everything goes back up.
Yeah, it's like just a refilling of your well. Yeah. So you have something.
And it's a circle. It's a virtuous circle, like a positive circle. Like the more you take care of yourself, the more you will want to do it, because you can see the positive impact of it. And same, like the less you take care of yourself, the more you get used to that, and the less you want to do. So if you feel like you don't really take care of yourself right now, if you start a little bit, you see you're gonna have a huge jump up after that.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, for me, some self-care activities that I do, yoga, if you didn't notice that already. But yoga doesn't have to be huge. Like, you really don't need to do an hour and a half practice every time. You just need a few minutes. Sometimes it's just a few minutes of meditation or going to do your creative activities
for you
that you like.
Beyond yoga, it's like physical activity. Like, it's your daily self-care.
It's a physical, for me, yoga is both. It's a physical self-care and it's the mental hygiene. So we're oftentimes like always in overwhelmed mode, and we don't leave space in our day just to do nothing.
That's true.
That's something that I struggle with.
I have the feeling that girls know better how to take care of themselves than guys, or at least it's more visible. Like, no?
Well, I think it's more socially normal for women to feel they need to put makeup on and like dress a certain way and go for even like massages and expensive. Like, it doesn't have to be expensive either. You can do self-care things that are free or very cheap. But I think if you're thinking of self-care as even in the mental hygiene, it's more maybe like okay for women to do these things, and maybe men don't feel as comfortable addressing self-care in that way.
Yeah, I mean, she was asking me before the video, it's like, what do you do for self-care? And I just realized, like, I don't know, like, I don't really know. And then, and then I realized I like double thought about it. And for me, self-care is, physically, I don't really like do a lot of physical activity like in a regular pattern. But I used to be a dive instructor, and even when I was diving like 3 or 4 times a day, my self-care was still like diving, but this time not as a work thing, but more as like a personal self-time. Now we're in the van and we're in Canada, and we're in almost like in October, so diving is not really I can't really do that. But it was really like this 1 hour when I was not talking to anyone, I was not thinking about anything else, just enjoying the nature and my moment, the floating. If you guys try diving, you're gonna feel like this. Yeah, mama. It's like this neutral buoyancy when you don't even have the gravity to deal with. And so hopefully next like spring, summer, we're gonna go on the coast, and I can like dive. If not, I would be hiking, just walking in nature. But I just realized I like.
You can walk Pinto if you want.
Yeah, definitely. But this moment for me is really like not talking. Like, so, because to talk, you have to think about your phrases, especially I'm French. Even if my English is decent, it's still an effort to pronounce, to make sentences together. So for my self-care would be just not talk. And the last thing I think about is laughing. Like, when you try to be super positive and you have to, okay, we have to do this, and we have to make this video. And in the end, it's like, we haven't laughed. So, like, if we can laugh together because we're busy and stuff.
We do actually laugh a lot when we make these videos. That's
true. You just see, like, the final part, but the before and after is usually, like, funny. But yeah, I can watch my video, one of my favorite shows, it's a comedy, and then I just, like, keep watching again and again. It just makes me laugh, like, half an hour, and then it just, like, drains everything serious out, and just reveals my mental health.
Yeah, and so for us, like, we really appreciate the time alone and quiet as self-care, but some people who are extroverts, they get energy from being around people.
Actually, so the opposite.
Yeah, so maybe your self-care is being with other people and laughing with them and finding that connection, and you're like, oh, okay, like that's not necessarily like doing things for other people, because we want to talk about self-care as like giving back to yourself, but that connection with other people can be really energizing for some.
I have a friend from England, and he's every day after work he goes to the pub for 1 hour. It's like, I don't know how many beers you can do for 1 hour, but like it's basically for 1 hour. As with my friend, yeah. I mean, of course we try to reduce alcohol and stuff, but for him it was 1 hour when he was not thinking about anything. He was just with his friend talking about weather, football, whatever he wanted to. And it was every day. Some other people was like my diving instructor when I did my IDC is every Sunday he say at 5 he say I'm going to church. And I say it's weird because he didn't really look like a religious person. Actually the church for him was the pub. It's like at 5 with his friend, he's been doing that for 20 years. Every Sunday at 5 he's over there for a couple hours. So I've been talking about pub very much, but find your way. Like if you don't have any, like men usually go to the gym, like they like doing that, like running.
Women go to the gym too.
But it can be painters, singers. If you're playing guitar,
I often think about, like, as a creative person, I think about creativity or your hobby as a form of self-care, because usually you get really into it and everything else kind of goes away if it's something that you can do without feeling like you have to do it. So it should just be something that feels good to do and you feel happy when you're doing it. So it can be time with your pet for sure. I spend a lot of time with my pet for self-care, as many Pinto cuddles I can get. It fills me up. A big hug. And yeah, cooking, self-care, there's so many things you can do. And this week for our challenge, it's 15 minutes a day of self-care. So we want you to do it too. And we want you to tell us how it makes you feel.
Yeah. We talk about like music, arts, like the most common things, but I'm pretty sure you have weird habits that make you feel good. Like
I'm also curious about the difference out there between introverts and extroverts and what your self-care practices could be, because it can differ so much from person to person.
Yeah. Talking about self-care, we have a big thing coming up, hopefully on the 15th, next Monday. It's going to be about self-care, so keep your eyes open. A yoga video coming soon too?
Yep, yoga video dropping Friday.
Cool. All right. So how do you finish?
Stay wildly well.
You got it. All right. Bye, guys.